You're right, actually. It's fascinating. First of all, everything starts with a dream. And I was just telling these 2-3 young people that I think I started thinking about it 25 years back when I was in school, looking at great names like Jack Canfield and Brian Tracy, and dreaming that one day I can speak like them, I can go on the international forums, and I can be one of the speakers at those forums. It took me 20 years of hard work, degrees, and probably whatnot. I call this a 10,000 hours rule. That if you put 10,000 hours into anything, you can get a mastery of that particular discipline. It can be journalism, it can be medicine, it can be engineering, and that particular set of those 10,000 hours, that makes you world class. I definitely put probably 15, 20,000 hours when it comes to becoming a speaker. And I think today's young people, they don't need to take that much time. They can do it faster, probably 3 to 5 years instead of 20, 25 years. Why? Because the technology, the power of technology, if you love camera and camera loves you, right? I think that can go faster. There are people like Jay Shetty and other people like young speakers who grew in the last 3 to 5 years and got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 million followers. TikTok and Instagram, all those apps using. So I think if you are strategic and you can plan better, at the same time actually knowing your niche, what you particularly want to excel in it, and then you get the top 20, 25 people who are in that particular niche, you model them, you juice them out, squeeze them, and exactly create your version, which is not a copy or a bad copy, but something more innovative. And then you can crush it, which is not a copy or a bad copy, but something more innovative. And then you can crush it.
How do you think regional differences make sense?
I was born in Pakistan, and then I just became global. I was just counting stamps on my passport, 83 countries and counting. So almost all the continents. So wherever you go, you meet people, and I think what I discovered, very interesting, that there's a code to unlock people anywhere in the world. And I call this I-manity, like humanity. So I think all over the world, whether it's Mexico or Bolivia or Kazakhstan or India or the United States or Portugal or whatever, wherever you go, if you have some passion and warmth and you can unlock the other person and you are interested in their stories, knowing more about them, giving them good ear, then they unlock themselves. And this is a universal code for humanity, or I-manity. So that works anywhere, right? As long as you're respectful, you're paying attention, and you really want to learn, I think everything else happens. The technology has broken down the language barriers too. Like I used to speak, say, 6-7 years back, and it was a pain to translate, and now it happens just like that. The AI version of translation is just live and real and even more effective than human beings.
Thank you. It's very, very interesting information. And what about your participation in your Vision Forum?
Actually, in the last 5 years, I've been speaking mostly on the global forums on crisis leadership. And why? Because a book that I authored, co-authored with another friend, it became a global bestseller, made in crisis. So we actually authored this book, learning from the COVID-19 crisis. And what we found out that, unfortunately, most of the world or the global governments, they are not crisis ready. Now, interestingly, in January 2019, the Time magazine published a paper, a feature, sharing that in the world, there are 2 governments which are ready to combat any kind of crisis. And they mentioned the United Kingdom and the United States of America in January. And just in April, both of these governments, they crumbled totally. And then we got new champions and new victors like Finland and Denmark and And then New Zealand, like most of the female leaders, they came to the stage, they performed better than the male leaders. So we authored this book, and for the last 4 or 5 years, I've been speaking globally about the crisis of leadership. Because in my view, the technology is advancing very faster, but in terms of the leaders of the world growing to that kind of level, they are left far behind. And this is creating a vacuum. And this vacuum can disrupt all the progress due to the poor leadership. So I'm speaking tomorrow in the New Vision Forum on the crisis of leadership. And what can be the format and model that we can employ, and we can actually come out victorious through these great and exciting times.
So maybe women are the leaders of the future.
Indeed. And it's really intriguing that women have been kind of cornered and ignored almost in every culture. Even in the Western culture, you hardly, like Theresa May, the Prime Minister in the UK, a good friend too, and then Margaret Thatcher. But then in the United States of America, you still don't have a female president. So what I found out that even those societies which claim that we have unlocked the women code, the leader code, they are still very far behind. And this means that the whole world needs to take a leap. And these women, in my view and in my theory, the women make a better leader. Why? Because they are more compassionate, they are more emotionally intelligent, and they are more empathic. And all these traits actually, they help you to become better leaders. So women can make great leaders, and in the future, I believe their role will be critical.
Like at home.
We're doing it right.
So do I.
We're doing it right.
Thank you very much for your
Pleasure.
time.
You're welcome.